Becky, and I'm going to talk to you today about shortages and surpluses. So far, when we've looked at markets, all we've done is looked at where our supply and demand intersect and then determine our market price from that. So whenever a market is in equilibrium, the number of buyers equals the number of sellers. And a market always wants to be at equilibrium unless it is prevented from doing that by a government or something like that. So that just means that our number of products is going to equal our number of buyers. Now, at any price other than the market or equilibrium price, we are going to encounter shortages or surpluses because at all of those other prices, our market is said to be in disequilibrium. That means that we no longer have happy buyers who all got the products that we want. We either have unhappy buyers who didn't have enough products for everybody, or we have unhappy sellers that have extra products that are still laying around. So whenever the price is other than your market price, you're going to have a situation where you have a shortage or a surplus. Let's look at shortages first. So obviously a shortage means that there is not enough of something, and that's what happens in economics. However, the way that it's expressed by economists in what I like to call econ speak means that your number of buyers is greater than your number of sellers. So that means that there are more buyers than sellers. So not everybody gets what they want. On the graph, you can see that at a price that's lower than equilibrium, that price hits the supply curve at one point and provides us with our quantity supplied. That same price hits the demand curve in a different spot and gives us our number of buyers or our quantity demanded. And the difference between these two results in the amount of our shortage. Now the nice thing is that shortages tend to be temporary, and since they're temporary, the price of the product will respond, and that means that eventually the price will have upward pressure to move, and it'll move back up to equilibrium. And at equilibrium, we will end up with an equal number of buyers and sellers. So that just means that the number of products for sale will increase, but at higher prices, your buyers are going to buy less products, so our quantity demanded will decrease until they get to that equilibrium point. Now let's take a look at surpluses. So a surplus is too much of something. So again, looking at it the way an economist would express it, that's when your quantity supplied is greater than your quantity demanded. So you have more products than buyers. I think as consumers, most of us are more familiar with surpluses because this is what happens in stores all the time. At certain prices that tend to be high, many buyers don't want to pay that high price for something. For example, if you walk into your favorite clothing store, you may find something that you really like, but when you look at the price, you put it back on the rack. Now, some people buy that product at that high price, but a lot of people put that back. Because not everybody is buying the product at that price because the price is too high, it causes a surplus. At the high price, it intersects my demand curve at one point, and it intersects my supply curve at the other point. And the difference between the two is where you get your surplus. And we all know what happens at a store when there's surplus laying around. Eventually what they do is they lower the price because of the downward pressure on price. So that means that the price will move and we eventually will get back to our equilibrium, which means that at lower prices it increases the number of buyers that we have. And since we've lowered the price, eventually the number of products for sale disappears until we get back to that equilibrium point. One important thing to remember is that both shortages and surpluses are temporary. It's a temporary disequilibrium, and the market is able to correct itself and it gets back to equilibrium. What we'll find out with is that there are situations that are called ceilings and floors that cause permanent shortages and surpluses, but that's on a different presentation. Have a great day.